First contact's price. The message arrived at Earth Central Command at 2:37 Universal Standard Time. Admiral Sarah Chen stood motionless as the holographic display showed only static where Artemis Colony should have been. Her weathered face, marked by 30 years of military service, betrayed nothing, but her hands clenched into fists at her sides. "Play it again," she ordered, her voice dangerously quiet. Lieutenant Rodriguez tapped the console. The recording resumed. "This is Artemis Colony. We are under attack. Unknown vessels have entered orbit. They're not responding to hails." The transmission cut to sounds of explosions and terrified screams before dissolving into silence. 8 million people. Gone. Analysis confirms. "Admiral," said Commander Patel, her normally composed face ashen. "Artemis has been completely destroyed. The colony, orbital stations, defense platforms, everything. Nothing remains but debris and radiation." Admiral Chen nodded once. "Who did this?" "The energy signatures match Corvan weapons, ma'am. No question. The Corvan Empire. Ancient, arrogant, and until now merely dismissive of humanity. In 150 years of space exploration, humans had established peaceful colonies on 36 worlds and encountered 12 alien civilizations. Some were friendly, some neutral, but the Corvans had always viewed younger races as irrelevant nuisances at best, threats to be eliminated at worst. "Get me the Council. Now." The United Space Command emergency chamber hummed with tension. 40 representatives from Earth and the colonies sat around the massive obsidian table, some attending via secure hologram. All faces showed the same mixture of shock, grief, and barely contained fury. President Rivera, a tall woman with silver-streaked hair, stood at the head of the table. Her eyes were red-rimmed, but her voice remained steady. "Admiral Chen will present what we know about the attack on Artemis." The Admiral stepped forward. Behind her, the wall screens filled with images. The burning colony, fragments of ships, and intercepted Corvan communications. 18 hours ago, Artemis Colony was obliterated by a fleet of Corvan warships. No warning, no demands. She paused. "We recovered fragments of their battle plans from destroyed scout ships. This was not a random attack. The Corvan Empire has labeled us a future threat to be preemptively neutralized." Gasps filled the room. Representative Okafor from Mars stood up. "Are they planning more attacks?" "Yes," Admiral Chen said grimly. "Their documents show plans to attack our colonies at Helios, Newterra, and Horizon within the week. After that, they aim to systematically eliminate all human presence in space before striking Earth itself." The room erupted in shouted questions. President Rivera raised her hand for silence. "What are our options, Admiral?" Sarah Chen took a deep breath. This moment had been planned for, prepared for, but she had hoped it would never come. "Madam President, representatives of humanity," she said, her voice clear and resolute, "it is time to drop the shield." The room fell silent. The shield, humanity's greatest secret. For a century, Earth had projected an image of minimal military capability, hiding its true strength from the galaxy. "When we first encountered alien life," Chen continued, "we recognized a pattern from our own history. Technological civilizations that openly displayed their military power often faced coalitions formed against them out of fear. So we made a choice. We would appear weaker than we are." She tapped her console. The screens changed to show massive shipyards hidden inside hollowed-out moons, asteroid bases, and enormous fleets kept in dimensional pocket spaces, all invisible to outside detection. "Operation Phantom Shield," she explained. "While we traded openly with basic ships and built apparent colonies with minimal defenses, we were preparing. Every mining operation was also creating warship components. Every research outpost was developing military technology. We now possess the largest fleet in known space, with weapons generations beyond what even the Corvan Empire can field." President Rivera nodded slowly. The shield policy was created to give us time to establish ourselves without appearing threatening. But now we face extinction if we don't act. The Corvan Empire believes they're eliminating a minor annoyance, Admiral Chen said, her voice hardening. They expect us to beg for mercy or fight a hopeless battle with our few visible defense ships. They have no idea what's coming. Defense Minister Santos, a compact woman with calculating eyes, leaned forward. How quickly can we deploy? The emergency protocols have been in place since we began expanding into space. Every ship we've built can be fully armed and launched within 12 hours. How many ships are we talking about? Asked a colony representative. Admiral Chen's face was grim. 750,000 warships, plus support vessels. The room fell silent again, this time in awe. Most representatives had known humanity had secret military strength, but few knew the true scale. President Rivera broke the silence. We need to vote. The deployment of our full military strength would end the shield forever. The galaxy will know our true power. This cannot be undone. The vote took less than a minute. Unanimous approval. Admiral Chen. President Rivera's voice was solemn. You are authorized to activate Operation Phantom Shield. May the stars have mercy on our enemies, because we will not. As Admiral Chen left the council chamber, she was joined by Fleet Commander Elena Volkov, her most trusted officer and friend for 15 years. It's really happening, Elena said quietly. Yes. Chen's face was stone. Send the orders. Every hidden base, every secret shipyard, full activation. Elena nodded. And the diplomatic approach. One chance. Send Marcus to their high command. Standard peace terms. They'll refuse. I know, but we'll have given them the chance. Her eyes hardened. After that, they learn why humanity survived its bloody history to reach the stars. Across human space, hidden installations hummed to life. Inside asteroids, beneath planetary oceans, and within hollow moons, massive doors opened. Ships that had never seen space were brought to launch position. On the command station codenamed Bastion, Fleet Commander Elena watched as thousands of status indicators changed from dormant red to active green. Workers swarmed over vessels, attaching weapon systems that had been stored separately. Pilots and crews rushed to their ships. On the main screen, a counter ticked upward as each vessel reported ready status. 50,000, 100,000, 200,000. In the Grand Palace of the Corvan Empire, Emperor Varric received the human diplomat with undisguised contempt. The Emperor's golden-scaled body towered over the human, and his 4 eyes blinked independently as he looked down at the small pink creature. You come to beg for your species' life, the Emperor rumbled. Diplomat Marcus Iwu, a silver-haired man with calm eyes, bowed slightly. I come to offer peace terms. Your colony was destroyed as a warning. The rest will follow. There are no terms to discuss. Marcus unfolded a small device that projected a document. We propose a treaty. Human colonies will maintain a demilitarized zone near your borders. We ask only that you cease hostile actions. Emperor Varric laughed, a sound like grinding stones. You have 10 patrol ships in this sector. We have thousands. Your species will be remembered as a footnote in our glorious history. Marcus's face showed nothing, but his eyes turned cold. This is your only warning. Cease all military action against humanity. Or what? Sneered the Emperor. Or we will respond with appropriate force. The throne room filled with laughter. The Emperor waved a massive hand. Take this creature away. Prepare the fleet to move against their colony at Helios. As guards approached, Marcus spoke one last time, his voice carrying clearly through the chamber. Remember this moment, Emperor Varric. Remember you were given a choice. Back aboard Bastion Station, Admiral Chen received the report of the failed peace mission. As expected, she said quietly. She turned to the communications officer. Send the launch order. Throughout human space, hidden bays opened. Ships rose from ocean depths, emerged from mountain hangars, and descended from orbital cloaking fields. The counter on Alina's screen continued to climb. 500,000, 600,000, 700,000. Admiral Chen stood at the main viewport, watching as her own command ship, Retribution, powered up its weapons. Her mind went to Artemis, to the millions dead, to the peace humanity had sought for centuries. "All ships report ready, Admiral," Alina said, her voice tight with emotion. 750,000 warships awaiting your command. Chen nodded slowly. "The galaxy thinks it knows us. Today they learned the truth." She straightened her uniform and gave the order that would change history. "All ships launch. Weapons free. Show them what humanity is capable of when provoked." As the massive fleet moved into formation, Admiral Chen whispered to herself, "This is for Artemis." The reckoning dawned. Captain Maya Ishikawa watched from the bridge of the destroyer Vindicator as thousands of warships moved into formation around her. For 12 years, she had trained for this day, commanding a ship that had never left its hidden dock inside an asteroid near Helios Colony. Now her vessel glided through space alongside countless others, weapons hot and shields raised. "Status report," she ordered, her voice calm despite the gravity of the moment. "All systems at full power, Captain," replied First Officer Singh. "The fleet is forming up. We're assigned to Battle Group Echo under Commander Volkov." The massive view screen showed waves of ships stretching beyond sight. Cruisers, destroyers, dreadnoughts, and carriers. Human engineering at its finest, built in secret over decades. "Any word from Helios Colony?" Maya asked. "They've completed evacuation. Civilian ships are moving to safe coordinates." Maya nodded. Unlike Artemis, Helios had received warning. No more innocent lives would be lost if she could help it. "Incoming transmission from Bastion Station," the communications officer announced. The screen changed to show Fleet Commander Alina Volkov's stern face. "Battle Group Echo, this is Commander Volkov. The Corvin fleet will reach Helios in 4 hours. Our intelligence shows they've sent 80 warships, expecting minimal resistance." A cold smile touched her lips. "We're going to give them a proper welcome. Battle Group Echo will form the vanguard." Emperor Varric lounged on his command throne aboard the Imperial flagship Eternal Glory. Around him, officers monitored screens showing the approach to the human colony world. "How long until we reach the target?" he asked, stretching his massive scaled limbs. 3 hours, Emperor, replied General Zek, his top military advisor. "Our scouts report only 5 human defense ships near the colony." Varric laughed. "Such weak creatures. They don't even try to defend themselves properly." General Zek shifted uncomfortably. "My Emperor, there have been some unusual energy readings from the outer system. Perhaps we should." "Are you suggesting these humans pose a threat?" Varric interrupted, his 4 eyes narrowing. "No, Emperor. But caution has kept our empire strong for 8,000 years. Caution, it is for the weak," Varric sneered. "These humans are primitive. Their ships are toys. Their weapons barely worth mentioning." A junior officer approached and bowed deeply. "Emperor, we've detected unusual movement in the asteroid field ahead." "Show me," Varric ordered. The main view screen flickered to life, showing distant dots of light emerging from behind asteroids and moons. "Magnify," the Emperor commanded. As the image zoomed in, silence fell across the bridge. Not 5 ships, but hundreds were moving into formation. Behind them, more appeared than more. "What is this?" Varric roared, rising from his throne. General Zek's face had gone pale beneath his scales. "My Emperor, those are warships. Human warships." "Impossible," Varric snarled. "Our intelligence said they have no significant fleet." The sensor officer's voice shook as he reported, "Emperor, we're detecting more vessels appearing throughout the system. Current count exceeds 5,000 ships." 5,000. Emperor Varric sank back onto his throne, his confidence wavering for the first time. Aboard Bastion Station, Admiral Chen and Fleet Commander Volkov watched the Corvin fleet come to a confused halt. "They've spotted Battle Group Echo," Volkov said with satisfaction. "Just the tip of the spear," Chen replied. "Are the dimensional gates ready?" "Yes, Admiral. Ready to bring in the rest of the fleet." Chen nodded. "The Corvin Empire thinks they know what they're facing now. Let's show them how wrong they are." She pressed a button on her command console. "All battle groups, execute Jump Protocol Alpha." On the Corvin flagship, alarms suddenly blared. "Emperor," the sensor officer cried. Spatial anomalies detected all around us. Before their eyes, space itself seemed to tear open. Massive portals of swirling energy appeared, surrounding the Corvin fleet. From each portal emerged hundreds of human warships, weapons already charging. "How many?" Emperor Varric whispered, his arrogance replaced by growing fear. 100,000. 300,000. The count continued climbing as more ships poured through the dimensional gates. 500,000 ships and still counting. General Zek stared in horror. "This is impossible. We've monitored them for decades. Where did these ships come from?" On the view screen, the human vessels moved with perfect coordination, forming a massive sphere around the Corvin fleet. There was no escape. "Incoming transmission," reported the communications officer. Emperor Varric straightened his massive frame. Even faced with unexpected resistance, he was still the ruler of the greatest empire in the galaxy. "Put it through." Admiral Chen's face appeared on the screen, her expression like granite. "Emperor Varric," she said quietly, "you were warned." Varric forced a laugh. "Impressive display, human. I didn't know your kind could hide toys so well. But you faced the Corvin Empire, rulers of 1,000 worlds. Your death will still come, just not as quickly as planned." "You destroyed Artemis Colony," Chen replied, her voice flat. 8 million innocent lives. No warning, no mercy. "Mercy is for the weak," Varric sneered. "Then you will receive none." The Admiral's eyes hardened. "The ships you see are merely the vanguard. Even now, the rest of our fleet moves against your empire. Your border stations have already fallen. Your colonies are being evacuated, not destroyed as you would do to ours, but evacuated. We are not monsters, despite what you believe." "You're bluffing," Varric said, but doubt crept into his voice. Admiral Chen's image was replaced by live feeds from across Corvin Empire space. Massive human fleets surrounded key worlds. Corvin military bases burned. Defense stations exploded silently in the vacuum of space. "This is only the beginning." Chen's voice continued over the images. "You thought humanity weak because we did not flaunt our strength. You mistook our patience for cowardice, our restraint for inability." The screen returned to Admiral Chen's face. "Surrender now, and your people will be spared. Continue to fight, and the Corvin Empire will cease to exist by day's end." Emperor Varric cut the transmission with a roar of rage. "All ships, open fire. Destroy them all." The Corvin fleet weapons blazed, energy beams lancing out toward the human ships. Most splashed harmlessly against advanced shields that glowed briefly but held firm. "Their shields are too strong," the weapons officer cried. "Impossible." Varric smashed his fist against his throne. "Our weapons can cut through any known defense." The human ships didn't immediately return fire. Instead, they continued to tighten their formation around the Corvin fleet, like predators circling wounded prey. On the bridge of the Vindicator, Captain Maya watched the Corvin weapons dissipate against their shields. "Targeting solutions ready, Captain," First Officer Singh reported. Maya nodded grimly. "Target their weapons and propulsion systems only. Disable, don't destroy." "Sir," Singh looked surprised. "Those are Admiral Chen's orders. We're better than them. We don't kill without need." Maya's eyes were hard. "But we will make sure they can never threaten humanity again." She took a deep breath. "All ships in Battle Group Echo, you may fire when ready." Throughout space, the message spread from system to system. Alien civilizations watched in shock as humans, the quiet newcomers, the peaceful traders, revealed their true power. The Galactic Council called an emergency session as reports flooded in. 750,000 human warships had emerged simultaneously across the galaxy. The greatest military force ever seen in the history of space travel had appeared overnight. In the council chamber, representatives from 30 alien civilizations watched in stunned silence as massive human fleets took control of every major trade route, jump point, and strategic location. The humans whispered a delegate from the ancient Tyrillian conclave. They were hiding this all along. An aide rushed in with a new report. The Corvan fleet has surrendered at Helios. Emperor Varric has been captured. How long did the battle last? Asked the council leader. The aide checked the report twice to be sure. 9 minutes. As fear spread through the chamber, a human representative entered. For the first time, the room fell silent. People of the Galactic Council, she said calmly, humanity comes in peace. We always have. But now you know what happens when that peace is broken. News of the Corvan Empire's defeat spread across the galaxy like wildfire. On 1,000 worlds, alien species watched in stunned silence as their information networks displayed the same impossible images. Countless human warships appearing from nowhere, overwhelming the Corvan forces in minutes. But the story was just beginning. Admiral Chen stood before the holographic map in Bastion Station's war room. It showed the entire galaxy, with human fleets represented as blue dots and known hostile forces as red. The map was awash with blue. Emperor Varric has been secured, reported Fleet Commander Volkov as she entered. He's being held aboard the prison ship Justice, along with the highest-ranking Corvan officers. And the rest of their fleet? Chen asked. Most surrendered after their flagship was captured. There were a few fanatics who tried to fight. She hesitated. We disabled their ships with minimal casualties. Chen nodded with approval. The Corvan homeworld. Volkov tapped a control, enlarging the section of the map. Our forces have secured the system. Civilian populations are untouched. Their military installations have been neutralized. Good. Chen studied the map thoughtfully. But we have another problem. She pointed to 2 flashing regions of space. The Tyrellan Hegemony and Drakari Collective have mobilized their fleets. Intelligence suggests they're hoping to take advantage of the chaos. Volkov frowned. They were supposed to be neutral. They'd been secretly supplying the Corvans for years. Our intelligence units found proof in Varric's records. Chen's eyes hardened. They hoped the Corvan Empire would eliminate humanity, clearing the way for their own expansion. What are your orders, Admiral? Chen straightened her uniform. Spring the trap. 6 months later, the galaxy had found a new equilibrium. The Corvan Empire, Tyrellan Hegemony, and Drakari Collective had been disarmed but not destroyed. Their civilian populations continued their lives under the watchful eye of human peacekeeping forces. Admiral Chen stood at the window of her office on Earth, looking up at the stars. Behind her, President Rivera waited patiently. Was it worth it? Rivera asked quietly. Worth what? Chen replied without turning. The deception. 100 years of hiding our true strength. The resources we could have used elsewhere. Chen was silent for a long moment. 8 million people died at Artemis. Without the shield, it might have been billions, or all of us. She finally turned to face the president. Yes, it was worth it. And now? The galaxy fears us. For now, Chen agreed. But that will pass. We've shown we have the power to destroy, but chose restraint. We've shown we value peace, but aren't afraid to fight. In time, they'll understand. And if they don't? Admiral Chen looked back to the stars, where humanity's fleet stood watch. Then we'll be ready. The galaxy would never be the same again. But perhaps, just perhaps, it would be better.